Hi guys, my name's Layla and today we're recording another video and this time we're going to be talking about studying medicine abroad. So like always, I'm joined by my co-host
Aaminah.
And a very special guest. Do you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Nasiruddin, otherwise known as Nasiruddin by many other people as well. And I'm a medic studying in Bulgaria.
Amazing. So thank you so much for joining us today. We're so happy to have you with us.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we're just gonna get into it and just start asking questions about, why you chose to study in Bulgaria. But I think, like always, like we always do, what happened on results day?
Okay, so results day, let's go back to that day. That is, wow, it seems so long ago as well. So on results day, it wasn't what I expected when I opened my email and checked my grades. And at that point, I was devastated because I didn't know what to do next. And I said to myself, I need to just actually sit down and to analyze my options. What have I got to do? But at the same time, I was so stressed. Like I was like, wow, my future is in jeopardy right now. I don't know what to do next. How am I going to reach my goal that I wanted to reach for so long? And everything just seemed so clouded in a sense. So that's how I felt on results day. It wasn't a good day for me. We can just agree on that part. It wasn't a good day for me, and yeah. But right now, I'm in this position where I'm here. I'm happy. So that day has affected me then, but looking back at it now, it has made me who I am today. I forgot to mention this part, but when I got my A-level results, I was planning on taking a gap year. So I took a gap year to think of my next steps. And I think that gap year was probably one of the best years so far in my life. So that year I worked for I worked for different companies. I worked for my favorite charity as well, where I developed from a volunteer into a fundraising officer. Doing what I love. I met so many different people, just got to do the things that I don't think I would have been able to do. So during that gap year, that's when I, just made steps to studying Bulgaria, the country, and just like making steps just so I can get in for September of 2018. And that's when I contacted my friends and those agencies and just tried to get into Bulgaria in that sense.
So what made you choose to study med abroad?
For me, it was something different. It was something unique, and it wasn't that I was alone in the situation where I had people who were there already. So that was another point for me going to Bulgaria in a sense. And with Bulgaria, the course that I'm doing over there, when I come back to the UK, it makes it an easier route. So there's less exams to do when I come back and start working as an NHS doctor in the future.
So you chose Bulgaria because you said you had friends there already.
Yes.
And that's and you didn't think of choosing any other country abroad, so you had your mindset on Bulgaria.
I had different options. So with there was Romania, there was Bulgaria, Lithuania, but with Bulgaria that drew me the most was because of those who I knew there. So and actually it was at first it was very daunting. I can't lie. It was very, very daunting because, you're in a new surrounding, you're at a place where you don't recognize anyone. People speak a different language to you. And only you can communicate with a few people because you don't know many people when you first go there. However, that part passes over, when you get used to just being there with just different people. But at the same time, going to a different country, is so much easier to make friends as well because everyone there is in the same position as you, and you'll see so many people from the UK as well. So if everyone's there because of the same reason, it makes it easier for you to relate with one another. And when you can relate with one another, then you can form that special bond that you get with those who you can't relate with in a sense. So I think studying abroad, if you wanted to do that, it's not too difficult to make friends because so many people are there, and especially in the first year as well, people want to come together, people want to talk and make friends, you know, go over to each other's houses, cook for each other. And that sort of vibe just creates a second home in a sense. Now, I class Bulgaria as my second home because when I go there, I know I have friends who look out for me. They know that I look out for them, and it's such a family vibe in a way.
I
It's
guess
very
you have
beautiful.
to create that, don't you? Because if you're moving
Mhm.
all that way, it's not like you can run back home when you're feeling a
Definitely.
bit homesick. So you got to create
Mhm.
that environment for yourself. So
Exactly.
how did you apply to get into Bulgaria?
Um, Again, one of my friends, he has a agency, and what the agency do is, his agency is Study Medicine Bulgaria, and what they do is they sort out your application in Bulgaria.
Mhm.
You know, like writing your name and handling into the uni, and so on. And he gave me self instructions that I need to do. So you have to do quite a few stuff. So get your grades, your certificate, give it to a lawyer, make sure they are notarized. So he has to stamp it to make sure that it's official. Also, you need to go to your GP, get a certificate saying you're healthy, and after that, you send it over to Bulgaria, and that's when they can process your details further. After that, what happens is that they invite you into an entrance exam. So you go to Bulgaria, and you do your entrance exam in Bulgaria. However, there are other agencies that you can go for, which allow you to do your entrance exam here in Birmingham, in London. However, I just chose the option to go to Bulgaria because I just wanted to feel how it would be like, in a sense. So just to go there and see the surroundings, see, you know, the weather, the atmosphere, and so that was the process in general. And with the entrance exam, it's you know, just a mix of subjects, biology, chemistry, and there are a bit of work that you need to do beforehand to study for it. And you are ranked on a leaderboard. I'm not sure how much places it is. I think it's about 300 people, 400 people, and I think top 300 people get in. And yeah, it was pretty smooth.
Okay, and
And
yeah, sorry, go on.
no, I was just gonna ask, and so what's the requirement like A level wise? Like, do you have to have a set grades in A level to get in, or they don't really look at it, or how does it work?
They do look at it, but they want you to at least pass your subjects. So I think their way of thinking is that, you know, if you can pass those subjects, like with being a doctor in a sense, things can go wrong in life. You know, things may not go your way, but that doesn't make you any less of a doctor than anyone else. Because there are certain skills and attributes that maybe other people don't have and that you have and that you excel in. But I think that the subject, I think in first year, that's when they filter out those students who maybe can't handle the subjects in that sense, because it is very tough. It is very tough. Like it's medicine at the end of the day, and learning subject is very, very hard. So you have to be prepared to put in the work and actually know that when you're there, you're studying medicine. It is a very, very tough course in itself as a subject.
So basically, you got your results, and then you took a gap year, sort of thing. But in the gap year,
Yes,
you applied to then study in to get into Bulgaria
yes,
this next year.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so like, what month is the entrance exam roughly?
There's quite a few dates. I think there's 3 dates. You can do it in June.
Yeah.
I believe you can do it around July and also in September. I chose to do mine in September.
You
And
did.
how hard would you say roughly the exams are based on like your understanding of the biology and and chemistry A level content?
I'd say about maybe 5 or 6 out of 10. So it wasn't too difficult because mostly it was the A level knowledge based, so it wasn't too difficult in a sense. However, I still had to do a bit of prep work beforehand just to get myself comfortable with how they assess. And it was when I walked in, it was pretty decent. It was a decent exam, I'd say. It
Okay.
wasn't too bad.
Yeah. That was really detailed. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Um,
I was gonna say, especially because me and Layla, we've not been through the process, so I'm assuming that if
yeah.
like actually considering it, it's nice to know like the journey and how to get there.
And I think as well, the taboo of like studying medicine abroad, or the reason why people don't look at it, is I feel like they think it's probably like an easy way in, or if you sort of, if you study abroad in Europe, it's you can't access, you can't become a doctor in the UK, like, or like you have to do another exam. Like I feel like there's just a taboo in general and like studying medicine abroad. And I think like you definitely clarified that really well, especially when you said how the first year is sort of like a filter year, whereas like where like if you like it's where they really see if students are committed to medicine or not. How many students would you say like drop out in first year?
In first year, I'd say around 50 or 60.
Okay.
50.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's not as in like there's some who drop out, some who fail the year and can't go into second year, because there's like a certain number of exams that you have to pass to go over into the second year.
Okay.
So just that's how it is, and it is quite a lot of people who drop out or don't pass the year in a sense. So yeah.
So it is pretty intense.
It is, especially first year. First year is a hard year in a sense because you're coming into a new country, so you have to do both. You have to adjust to the new country, and you have to also get your mindset straight for studying and revising for your exams and and also getting used to different surroundings. So it's pretty difficult at first, but I feel like after a few months you'll be able to settle down a little bit more. And also with flights to go back home, if you are feeling homesick, the flights aren't that expensive. Like I've come back home on a flight for like £15, so it's not really that expensive, but it's about the right time to book it. Yes, it is really cheap.
Honestly, that's cheap because like I was commuting from Bristol to Manchester and it's so expensive. It's like about 60 quid for a train ticket. Talking about expenses, how is it like living away? Is it more expensive? Is it cheaper? Like what's it like?
I think it all depends on your own personal budget. I'd say that you can get through with around maybe £350-400. That's roughly how much I use per month. With my rent is about
So how much? 300 to
150 to 400. I think that's
per month?
I think that's yes, per month. That's how much I use personally, but you can go higher than that because my rent compared to others is kind of like not too expensive. So I pay around £200, £190 for my rent. Bills on roughly cost around probably £20 to £30.
Is this per month?
This is per month, yeah.
Okay.
Food wise, it all depends on how much you eat as well, and what you can do with how much money you have, and how well you can cook. Like when I first went there, I barely knew how to cook, so that was one of the most character building stuff I had to go through, was cooking for myself and just trying to make a meal out of something. It was at first it was so difficult. Like I was just living off pasta and rice and just getting pasta sauce and just using that. But like now I can say that I'm confident in my cooking abilities, and I can cook. I can cook for myself right now. So it's a very good character building when you go there. You learn different life skills, how to manage your funds, how to pay your bills on time, look after your apartment, and just look after your surrounding, clean your apartment, all that stuff. So yeah, it is very character building.
I was gonna say, because I feel like you've mentioned this quite a lot now, and like you did go through a lot of challenges, obviously moving to a different country, studying a course abroad, etc. And that just leads me to my next question. What was your biggest challenge about studying medicine abroad?
Biggest challenge was, I'd say, moving away from my family, because the transition period was so quick. Like one day I was home, the next day I wasn't.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest difference, because when I went, I didn't know when I'd be coming back home. That was, I'd say, my biggest thing that I had to overcome. My biggest problem I had to overcome was, just remembering why I'm there to begin with. Like, why am I here? I'm here to get my degree. I'm here to make my family proud. I'm here to, I'm here to make a difference in my life, and also maybe change a life for someone else. Because there's this saying that I heard where you can't change the world. However, you can change the world for that one person that you helped, that one person that you helped. So That's
Yeah.
one of the quotes that I kind of live by, in a sense, where that's where I'm trying to work towards. I'm trying to work towards the ability to, gain these attributes that could be useful to so many people. And that's what keeps me focused on my education, on why I'm there to begin with. So, because it is, I'd say, expensive as well, because with the term fees, I don't think we've gone through this, but with term fees is about 8,000 euros per year for my uni, where it is split to 4.5 euros in September, beginning of winter session, and 4.5k for the summer. So yeah, that's something that we need to work for ourselves. So my father is out, in a different country working, just to get those funds so that I may be able to, study the course that I wanted to study. So I need to make sure that I'm doing the best I can when I'm there. So I don't make my father work for no reason, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I guess that's something that you need to factor in, because like here you have this whole thing of like tuition fees, and they can get like a loan from the government, but obviously if you're going abroad you don't necessarily have that option, so you have to factor in that that's going to be paid by yourself and your
Exactly.
family. Yeah.
Exactly. And I
Sorry,
try to,
you convert everything to euros. How much would that roughly be in pounds? Like the amount you're paying every year?
um, pounds, I'd say around maybe 6.5k
Okay.
per year for tuition
So
fees. I'm not really
it's less than like the UK expenses, which is
yes. Hmm.
is
It's
definitely
I
an
think
advantage.
It is
so too.
definitely less in UK, but then you have to remember that even though it's less, we still have the breather of like, okay, you can apply for a student loan and then pay it off later.
Yeah.
So it's
Hmm.
Yeah.
you have to factor that in as well. Um,
Exactly.
like talking about like fitting in, because you said that you made your own family when you were there.
Mhm.
Did you like? Were there a lot of people from the UK that went? Did you feel comfortable in the environment that you were like, the new environment that it was? And like, talk about the language, because like I'm assuming not everyone speaks English.
So, because we study in an international uni, in a sense,
Yeah.
the course that I do is English. So everyone who's on this course can speak English. So all my classmates can speak English.
Okay.
Uh, the teachers can speak English, except for our languages teacher, because we have to study, I think, about 6 hours per week of the Bulgarian language,
Wow.
just so we can get by. And when it comes to second year, that's when you learn the medical terms of Bulgarian, which I'm not very strong at the moment, so I still need to go over it quite a bit. But however, I can like call a taxi, just have a simple conversation with my taxi driver. But at the beginning, it was really difficult because what we had to do was we need to Google Translate on my phone. So if I wanted to communicate with someone, so you'd have this Google Translate app where you can speak and it translates what the other person's saying from Bulgarian to English and what I'm saying from English to Bulgarian. And you can't have that sort of banter with, let's say, your taxi driver, with your landlord. At first, it is kind of weird, but it gets kind of fun as you get into it. But right now, I can get by at least. So, I can go out, buy my groceries, speak to some people. And the language is difficult, but it's not too difficult as well.
Okay.
That's good.
Oh, it seems like you did have a lot of like you do have fun when you go to Bulgaria, just from like the way you talk about it. And I just wanted to move along and ask you like what sort of activities do you do in your free time? Like do you do any extracurricular activities when you're in Bulgaria? How do you take your mind off medicine?
How do I take my mind in medicine? So um, there's different things that you can do. There's going to the cinema with your friends, going out to eat. I'm a Muslim, so there are halal spots that you can go to just to go eat. And also, you can go over to your friend's house, have, dinner with them, or they come over to your house, have dinner with them, like with me, where I cook them, a lavish meal if I could, which at first, yeah, was a problem, but now, let me just invite everyone to my yard. But there's, I'm not sure, did I mention go-karting as well? Like we have a go-karting spot that we can go to. And prices wise, it's not that expensive, like going out to places. If you want to go bowling, it costs roughly £2. And if you wanted to eat as well, prices aren't that expensive when you compare it to pounds. So yeah, I think having fun, it's all about it's all about who you're with as well. So you can be doing anything with your friends and it can still be fun and it can
What
take you.
about like sports activities? Is there any like sports centers or
Yes,
stuff like
there
that?
are many. Like in first year, it is compulsory to do sports as well. So you go out to the sports complex, and you can play football. Your table tennis. You can go to the gym if you wanted to. Play basketball as well. So there are many things that you can do sport wise. You can go for a run. So that's one thing that I tried to do when I was in Bulgaria, was just to run daily or about 3-4 times a week, just to get my mind off things. If I'm stressed, if I'm in my house for too long, I just go out for a run and then come back. And the weather is pretty decent when you go to Bulgaria. Like when it's summer, it is summer. It gets hot, 30 degrees, 25 degrees. And when it's winter, it does get quite cold. It could snow as well.
Mm.
So yeah, it is pretty decent as a country wise, but it is a big difference from the UK. It is a massive difference. So you do have to get used to the infrastructure, because right now they are building the country back up again. They are putting in new buildings, bigger complexes, and just new things to do. Like year by year, the country just keeps getting better and better. And I believe by the time I'm in sixth year, the country will be much different than it was when I was in first year. And that's what many
Pretty good, yeah.
Mhm.
Good. So what tips would you give someone who is considering studying abroad in like a place like Bulgaria?
So what tips? Okay. Firstly, I'd say to not feel demotivated, because it is not the end of the world. Um,
Hey,
when-
our playlist is called "It's Not the End of the
no
World"
way.
playlist.
I promise I didn't know that. Just say disclaimer out there. So yeah, because the past is the past. Like, it's done. You can't change it right now. So you just need to look at what you can do for yourself for the future. The thing about this uni is that everybody is so friendly, and you can walk up to anybody if you need help for anything. You can honestly walk up to anybody and they will help you, because we've all been in that situation. And if you see me as well, you can just come to me and say hi to me. Because everyone's there to help you. No one's there to push you aside, and not help you. Um, and another tip that I would give is find friends who are there for you, and those who will help you each step of the way. And I think, and also yourself as well, like have confidence in yourself, because even though things may have gone wrong in the past, doesn't mean that you're not capable of greater things that you can achieve while you're in Bulgaria or anywhere abroad. A course that you want to do, that's the difference, because you chose to go out there to that country to chase the dreams that you wanted to chase. And when you go there, you realize that you're there. This is where it all begins. This is where your journey starts. And I wish it just goes well for you.
Wow.
That's really nice. I was gonna say you should be an inspirational speaker.
Yeah, I'm motivated. Like, I want to drop my bags and go to Bulgaria, man.
In it. I feel like, okay, to wrap up this really amazing session, honestly, I had so much fun listening to everything you had to say. I think my last questions to you is, do you feel like you made the right decision, and do you enjoy it?
Yes, I do. I think I made the right choice in going to Bulgaria and studying the course that I love to do. And yeah, if I could do it again, I'd do it all over again.
Oh, perfect.
Oh.
So,
Thank you so much for this.
Thanks for inviting me as well to come on this talk. It was very nice. It's good to just talk about it as well, because many people don't like to talk about that they're studying abroad, because they might, be looked down upon, saying, oh, they went abroad to study medicine or they couldn't get into the UK. But however, I'm there. I've got nothing to hide. I love what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm just embracing it. I'm just taking it every step of the way, just happy, enjoying my life. So yeah.
no, that's good. So thank you so much for coming and speaking
Thank
to us.
you.
It's been lovely. And I hope, like, if anyone's watching it and considering this has helped them make a decision or push them down a certain path, and just open a different option if this is something you're considering. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up there.
Thank you so much once again. We honestly have so much fun listening to you.
No problem at all. Thank you again for inviting me as well. Thank you so much. And also, I just want to add, if the viewers are wanting to ask any questions, I could put my socials at the bottom, and they can just drop me a message anytime they would like, just to know more about the course and Bulgaria in general. I'll be happy to assist.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we're gonna leave it there. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Like we said, we'll drop Nasiruddin's socials at the bottom if you want to contact him. But yeah, so bye.
Bye.